back to another video on the Football Zone and to the weekend preview. We're starting off with Leeds v Villa at Villa Park. This is quite a hard one to predict. Leeds have been really good this season, but Villa, I just think they're just so good at the moment. I've got so much momentum. So I am going to go for a Villa win. I'm going to say 2-0 to the Villa, and I think they're going to continue their perfect start. Up, it is West Ham v Man City at the London Stadium. This one is quite hard to predict as well, really, because West Ham have done so well recently, and they're, of course, getting that incredible draw last week. Man City, I think they're back to their best now with wins over Arsenal and Porto, and I do think they will have enough to beat West Ham, despite how well they've been doing recently. I'm going to say a 3-0 win to City. Fulham host Crystal Palace at Craven Cottage. Fulham got their first points. That could provide them with some real momentum going into this one. Crystal Palace, I think they'll be disappointed not to beat Brighton last week, but I think they'll see this as a winnable game. I think both teams will, but to be honest, I think this is probably going to be one of those games while neither team gets the win, so I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Liverpool host Sheffield United on Saturday night, and to be honest, I think they're far too good, Liverpool, at the moment, even without Virgil van Dijk. Sheffield United just don't look up to it at the moment, so I do think Liverpool will take advantage here, even if they're not at their strongest. So I'm going to say a 4-0 win to the Reds at Anfield. Manchester United host Chelsea at Old Trafford. Two games between Big Six clubs. Manchester United, I think they're starting to get improved now. PSG win really good. Newcastle win was convincing in the last 5 minutes, except for that it wasn't great. Chelsea, I still think the new signings are bedding in. They're not quite yet. It will take time, which is why I do think United will have enough to beat them here. It will be narrow, but I'll say a 1-0. First game on Sunday, Southampton host Everton. I think this is a hard one to predict, actually. I was just trying to think what the score was. I still haven't decided. Southampton have picked up quite a bit recently. Everton, of course, doing mighty well. Still top of the league. Got all the Pickford controversy going on. Don't think that will distract them, though. I've made my mind up, and I am going to say a narrow Everton win. I'll say 2-0. Wolves host Newcastle at 4:30 on Sunday. Wolves in 6 on -2 goal difference, though. Found that quite interesting. Newcastle in 13th. Both sides doing pretty well off the start, I must say, probably exceeding their expectations. But I do think Wolves are the better team here, have the home advantage for whatever that counts for these days. Anyway, so I do think they're going to get the win, and I'm going to say they will get a 2-0. Arsenal host Leicester on Sunday evening, and I think Arsenal, Leicester, they're just so evenly matched at the moment. I can't really see anything other than a draw really here, to be honest. I think it's going to be 1-1. Can't see it being 0-0, but I just can't see anything separating these two sides. Then travel to West Brom on Monday, and I think Brighton will get the win here. They just seem to have a bit too much quality for West Brom. Brighton, I'm quite excited about that team. They've got some good players like Morpay, for example, and I do think they will have enough here. So I'm going to say a 1-0 win for Brighton. Final game in the Premier League, Burnley v Tottenham at Turf Moor. Tottenham, I don't know, will be interesting to see how they react to that West Ham, where it feels like a defeat, but it was actually a draw. But I do think Burnley, they just don't look as good this term, so I do think Spurs have enough to pick up the win, and I'm going to say 3-1 to Spurs. Derby day on Friday between Nottingham Forest and, Derby at the City Ground, and I can't wait for this one. Two struggling teams at the moment, but I do think they will start to pick up soon. I do worry for Philip Cocu if they lose this match, but he's seen the impact it's had. Houghton picking up 4 from 6, despite a disappointing result on Tuesday. And I do think Forest will struggle here again, but I can't see them losing, so I'm going to say 1-1. Third, the Bournemouth, two relegated sides, face off on Saturday lunchtime. Watford third, Bournemouth fourth, both going well. And I think this will be a really high quality game. I'm really looking forward to it. But trouble is, I just can't see a winner between the two teams. They just seem so even, both this season and last season. So I'm going to say an entertaining 2-2 draws. One thing I can say is that there certainly will be goals. Bristol City hosts Swansea at Saturday lunchtime. Bristol City, I do worry if the last week could have killed their momentum a little bit. Swansea, they've had a poor week as well, just picking up 1 point, like Bristol City. Both will be wanting to get back on track. I just can't see. This could be quite a nervy game. I think it will be 0-0, to be honest, like last season. Nervy game. So, yeah. If host Middlesbrough in the Neil Warnock derby on Saturday. This will be a hard game for Cardiff. Middlesbrough, they've had a great week, picking up 4 points against the leading two, Reading and Bristol City. Cardiff, they're looking pretty solid as well, picking up 4 points this week too. And home advantage, I think, will just give them the edge. I'll say 1-0 to Cardiff. Coventry take on Blackburn at St Andrews. Coventry, they've shown glimpses of being up to championship level, but I'm really not convinced on them yet. Blackburn, they're a funny team. They've had a couple of really great results. Wycombe at home, Derby away, I'm thinking, and everything else has been pretty poor. So they're quite an interesting team, but I do think they will pick up a point here. I'm going to say Coventry 1, Blackburn 1 in 2 evenly matched sides. Next up, Huddersfield take on Preston. Huddersfield on a really great run at the moment, 4 unbeaten. Preston, hopefully they kick-started their season with a win over QPR on Tuesday. And I do think these sides are quite evenly matched. But I do think they will play out a fairly dull 0-0 draw here, just because they're so evenly matched. And I just don't think there's too many goals between the two teams. Millwall v Barnsley next up at the Den. Millwall are really gone under the radar in 5th. Great start. I'm backing them to win here. Barnsley, I don't think their new manager's quite ready to take over. So I think Barnsley still have a caretaker. So I do think that will play into Millwall's hands. So I'll get, say, a 1-0 win for the Lions. Norwich take on Wycombe next at Carrow Road. Wycombe have been getting closer to a championship result. They came ever so unlucky against Millwall last week, and they were even relatively close to getting a result against Reading on Tuesday. But Norwich, I do think they're starting to get in the flow of things after regaining championship football. And I do think they will have a bit too much quality for Wycombe. So I do think it will be a 7th straight defeat for them. And I'm going to say 2-0 to Norwich. Next up is QPR v Birmingham. Two teams who started off pretty well and have dropped off a little bit. QPR in 14th, I believe. 16th, sorry. Birmingham in 18th. Both on 6 points with the exact same goal difference. So nothing to separate the two teams. And I don't think there'll be anything to separate the two teams either on the pitch. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw, to be honest. Reading host Rotherham next at the Medeski Stadium. Reading, if someone told me Reading would be top by 3 points after 6 games with 16 points, I would have slapped them in the face and called them stupid. But who's the stupid one now? Rotherham in 17th. They've done okay, to be fair to them, for a newly team coming up, but I do think Reading will have a bit too much for them here. So I'm going to say a 2-0 home win for the Royals. At Hillsborough, Sheffield Wednesday take on Luton. Luton starting to fall back a bit. Sheffield Wednesday, they've had a mediocre week, but I do think they will take advantage of Luton's really poor week and pour more misery on them in a narrow 1-0 win to take them to -1 and probably only 1 point off Wycombe. A team catching them up in 7 games, that's quite poor if we're being honest. Bet365, Stoke take on Brentford. Brentford, they've picked up a bit recently. Bit of an iffy start, but they've definitely picked up. Stoke just seem really inconsistent, and I just don't think tomorrow will be one of their good days. I'm going to say Stoke 0, Brentford 2. The man's on fire. I'm talking about Tony. and there's no reason why he can't deliver again here tomorrow. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Remember to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.